Hello and welcome back to Kilroy Films. This is a very quick impromptu video because I threatened to talk to you about this softbox that I got with the Godox VL150 light. This is the Godox FW-150 centimeter softbox. I haven't had a chance to do this properly. I haven't got the space. I'm on the floor in our living room here, but our daughter is coming to stay this weekend, so I need to collapse this thing and put it away because my studio is in her bedroom basically. So impromptu video just to quickly put this away and show you a bit more about the softbox. I'm no expert on softboxes. It's the first proper softbox that I've owned. I've made one video with it so far, super happy, but let's get into it. Hopefully you can see I'm on a wide angle, so it maybe distorts the full size of this a bit, but it's huge. It's 120 centimeters. It cost me £68 from Amazon, and it came with the Honeycomb grid and 2 layers of diffusion. So let's take the Honeycomb grid off first. So you should be able to have seen and probably heard that the Velcro around the edge of this is really, really strong. You've got really thick Velcro taping just to attach the honeycomb grid on the inside of the softbox. Now, if like me, you're new to all of this stuff, what does the honeycomb grid do? It basically directs the light a bit more. When you've got one of these huge softboxes, you do get a spill of light going off the subject. If you want to direct the light a little bit more, it's not like a spotlight, but it certainly directs it more. Putting one of these on the front of the light will make it point down, make it point forwards, more directional. So you get one of those with it. Then this is the reverse basically of how to put it up. This is how I'll take it down. It's going to be a noisy video this, sorry, but there you have it. That's the front level of diffusion. And you should see inside here, I've also got the inner portion of diffusion as well. And you can see this nice big thick Velcro strip to connect both the outer diffusion level and the honeycomb grid. So it's really, really good. For the inner, you have these Velcro tabs all the way around that this just tabs onto. My exposure is probably completely off. I'm just doing this really, really quickly because I haven't got much time, so apologies. So there you go, that's the main interior of the softbox. It's obviously the reflective panel that makes the light reflect where you want it to go. And then from an outside point of view. So the top part also is a separate part that Velcros on, which is very handy actually. This is designed like this on purpose because it's so big you wouldn't be able to put your hand inside to get to the bones mount and actually attach it to your light and support the weight of it from the inside of the umbrella. So you take this off and you can put your hand in here, and that's how you then attach it. You've got to twist the bones mount into place onto your light. You should better see 1, 2, 3 bones mount clips. They clip in, they push in, and then you have to twist the whole thing to lock it into place. You can actually, let's just take that off. You can actually unscrew this part here. I'm not sure how well I'm showing that. So that's loose, and then this bit spins, the bones mount spins. That may be to let you lock it in place independently of having to move the whole umbrella or the whole softbox. But I actually preferred it locked in place, tightened down, so I could just grab the whole thing and twist it, and it was easy enough to do that way. So How do we get this off now? This is my first attempt. Putting it on was super hard. It comes with no instructions. That's a massive con, I'd say. I had no idea what I was doing when I put this together, other than common sense and a YouTube video that I found from some guy that gave a little bit of instruction. The key thing he told me was when you get to the last few, it obviously gets super tight. The whole thing's nice and tight. So putting the last couple of rods in, there's a technique to it, and it's the same technique for taking it down as well, which I'll show you now. You need to put your weight and your elbow into the rod and try and flatten it as much as possible whilst pulling it out from the central locking point. So wish me luck. Success. I'm sweating already. I'll talk about these in a second. Let's just get a few rods out. Work on opposites. And it's certainly getting easier now. So, before I take this last one out, let's get a bit closer. These little tabs that the rods go into on the outside, the edge of the softbox, were really, really tight. I couldn't actually get these in, the rod ends, into the softbox. Covers, tabs, whatever you want to call them, without actually, I put a screwdriver in there. I had my Swiss Army knife on me, and I put the flathead screwdriver part of the Swiss Army knife, put it in and kind of twisted it around to loosen this out, because these are super tight. And I guess that's a good thing. You want it to lock in there tight, but just be aware of that. You do need a little tool when you first put it up, and I'm guessing the more times you use it, they're going to get looser over time. But they look like they're stitched really, really well. There's lots of stitching around, double stitching. So hopefully there's not going to be any issues with them ever breaking. So that's it. That's your main component, the reflector, which you can now fold up. You saw it was really only the last 3 or 4 rods that are really difficult to put in. I guess as the tension builds, it's a bit obvious, right? The thing without instructions, let's see how well we can see this. These are numbered. There's extra holes as well, and then there's holes there, you see. And there are extra holes that are not numbered, and then there are these numbered holes. And I'm not sure how well that's coming out on camera, but essentially the numbers are 1, 2, opposite 1, 2, 2, opposite 2, 1, 3, opposite 1, 3, and 3, opposite 3. I just started with 1, 2, put 1, 2 in first, then opposite 1, 2. Then I was like, I'll put in 2 next, opposite 2. And then I was like, do I put in 1, 3, opposite 1, 3? Or do I put in 3, opposite 3? I think I went 1, 3, and then put in the opposite for 1, 3, and then put in 3 last. Anybody else that's got one of these with this kind of numbering can tell me. I mean, it worked. I don't think it's a major issue. It's just to guide you to trying to spread out. As long as you spread out and you do the opposites and together, the pairs together, then it should be fine. And you saw how quickly I took it down. Taking it down is obviously a lot quicker than putting it up, but a couple of minutes. I made a schoolboy error with it because I thought I was buying one where I've seen them online. The rods are permanently kind of caught in here. They're loose and they have like a catch that you just unclip. But no, it's all independent rods. There they all are. And I can see some of them have got a natural bend in them now already, so they're probably going to be easier to put in moving forwards. You get this component and all the other components I showed you. But taking it down was actually a lot quicker than I thought that was going to be. I'll have a look on the video, but it must have been less than 2 minutes. Putting it up, probably 5 minutes. So just bear that in mind if you're getting one of these and you're taking it onto production, like sets, studios, etc., and you need to factor in getting that erected into your preparation time. You can't erect it before you go unless you've got a really big car that you can just throw it in the back of. This all will fit into a little carry bag. I've left that upstairs. So it all goes in a nice little carry bag, which is cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm a beginner. It's my first time putting it up and taking it down in this last week. I've used it for one video, absolutely really happy with it. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you like, subscribe and all that good stuff. Leave a comment, let me know any tips and advice you've got about using a softbox like this would be appreciated.